Hello and welcome to this very special edition of the KAA show. Today we're joined by a governor, Adam Balon, and one of our Year 12 students, Gabriel. Today's theme is creativity, and it's such an honour to have Adam here today because Adam is a co-founder of Innocent Smoothies. It's amazing, and also the co-founder of the JamJar, which is an investment company that sort of invests in smaller companies and hopefully they'll grow into bigger companies. So they both know a lot about creativity. So Adam, again, thank you so much for coming today. It's an absolute honour to have you here. And often when people think about creativity, they think about art and drama and acting, but actually creativity can be around us in all sorts of business. And I think what you've proven is creativity has, you've really thought about creativity and it's excelled your business because you've taken sort of what some people might describe as sort of mundane things, and actually with your twist and your team's twist, you've created and created incredible businesses. So do you want to talk us a little bit about how it all started for you, and sort of how you come up with some of the ideas you had? They're brilliant.
Yeah, thanks. So I suppose we started. John, Rich and I were mates at university together, and we always did little ventures. And once we left university, we had proper jobs, and we were always sort of talking about what business are we going to start, And we thought, okay, if we can find a problem in life and we can work out what a solution might be, then maybe we can create a business. And Smoothies came from sort of personal need, sort of going out a lot, partying quite hard, not eating enough good stuff, and thinking, actually, wouldn't it be great if there was a simple way just to get all the fruit and veg you need for a day? And that was kind of the nugget of the idea of smoothies. But as you say, the market was quite boring. Juices in bottles, there were loads of them, and so how we were going to do something that looked and felt different, and that's where I suppose a bit of creativity and having some time to think about it really came into play. So everything on the market was kind of quite boring bottles, muted colours of the juice inside, quite wacky designs, and we were like, okay, well let's actually just completely change that. Let's go very simple on the bottle, natural paper, and really let the colours of the fruit pop. And that bit of creativity completely transformed what ours looked like versus everything else in the market. And you put it on the shelf, and people are like, ooh. And it's just started selling from the very beginning. Yeah. So it was absolutely key to the success of the business, that creativity.
I mean, I remember when Smoothies sort of came out, and it's hard to believe that they didn't exist before. That the idea that you sort of saw the juice, it wasn't hidden, and they were just cool. So you made something like a smoothie quite cool to drink, and then obviously you branched out on other sort of areas of that. And did you ever doubt it would work? Or did you?
Yeah. Look, the hardest time was before we launched, when we were trying to work out how to make them, how to fund it, what bottle shape to do, where to get the fruit from, all that stuff. Because actually most of the time you're getting no's from people. People are saying, oh no, we can't do that, you're too small, oh, we're not going to deal with you. And that was the toughest time, and it was super helpful there were three of us. If it had just been me, no chance, I would have given up. I would have been like, you know what, this is too hard. But having a team and having three of you actually made a huge amount of difference. Yeah. And then when we got going, at least we were up and running, and when problems happened, you could sort of deal with them. But it was that pre-launch time that was actually the hardest.
And how did creativity help you? Like, what did you sit there with did you have a board where you were making ideas? Did you all sit there meditating? Like, what was your process? I'm really intrigued because.
So I think we. Always trying to get really clear what question we were answering, because then you can start trying to apply creativity to working out an answer. So getting clear what the problem is. And sometimes that was literally sitting around a table and discussing it, doing flip charts. Other time it was sitting in a beanbag with a bottle of tequila and Friday night and having a chat.
Don't drink.
And good ideas can come from all sorts of different places, is the reality. So there wasn't one sort of model for coming up with it. But it's not just the visible stuff or the obvious, the designs and stuff that I think there was creativity in. We tried to apply that to every bit of the business. So we wanted a label that had lots of different bits of copy, so that you weren't picking up the same boring label the whole time. But obviously that would probably be really expensive to make. So how can you do changing labels but at a cost-effective way? And John realised that the way the printers print the labels is they print actually 24 identical ones on a 6x4, and it didn't cost any more to just actually do each particular one differently. So then, rather than getting 24 identical ones, you've got 24 completely different ones for the same cost.
Right.
And then suddenly we get changing labels. And so those little tricks that, just by caring and really thinking about it, actually ended up, you do that through the business, and you end up with a really distinctive business.
So our audience are students, mainly at the school. So they'll be focusing on sort of their English, their maths, their science, their PE, drama and things like that. And I suppose they can't see beyond their academics at the moment.
Yeah.
But so what would you say to those that are watching now, that sort of the skills that they learn at school they could take forward into business? I'm not sure how to round that as a question, but how would you advise students now who are sort of in their lessons and doing homework and revising, all those sort of things, all those students that aren't doing that as well, what skills would you say that helped you at school to make you the success you are today? Because you and your business partners are very successful, So is there any advice you'd give to students and how that helped with your creativity?
Yeah. No, I worked hard at school. I stuck in. I was interested in what was going on. I tried to find, even if I wasn't naturally sort of tuning into a subject, I tried to find an interesting angle to it to keep me motivated. And that works, because you just never know when that stuff is going to become useful. That might be something, that random fact in history might be something you end up writing on your instant smoothie bottle that then creates a joke.
Yeah.
So that you just never know. And I think by sort of fully engaging in the school process and then the university, actually I sort of got most out of it. And then I did that at my first couple of jobs as well, and they were very different, and I learned very different things there. And all of those are the sum total of the experiences that then I had when I started Innocent was hugely useful.
Yeah. It's funny, most people we've had on the podcast, well, one of the number one things that's coming through is to throw yourself into school, is to really take advantage of all the, whether it's a house competition or it's work they're doing or friendships, it's really throw yourself into school, because when you leave, you don't realise what the opportunities that are there.
Yeah, it's an amazing time in your life. You look back and you're like, oh my gosh, it's never like that again,
Yeah.
And so it is just, as you say, it's not just about the education bit, it's about the social, it's about the learning, it's about the laughs you have, it's just but fully engaging and fully being present and getting every bit of nutrition you can get. Is what you should do.
So one of the reasons we have Gabriel here today is Gabriel's in year 12 currently. And I know, Gabriel, that you've been involved in a lot of school productions, and so we talk about creativity from a business entrepreneurial point of view, but actually the sort of creative element of performing arts has been really great for you and great help in sort of your life. So do you want to talk to us a little bit about some of the skills that performing arts has helped you to get you to where you are in year 12 now and your sort of time at KAA?
Well, creativity has helped me with just like what you said, just like thinking outside the box, thinking of like ways which aren't like one would say like structural, one like more just like doing things that might seem like crazy and like might seem a bit like absurd. Like, for example, like when I was studying for my GCSEs last year, I wouldn't just stick to just flashcards or just like revise off like notes or something. I'd actually go through, I'd like highlight, I'd like act it, drama again. I'd act out like some things as well. Maybe even like write about it, like creative writing as well. Just writing about my subjects as well, and that creativity led me into performing arts and me branching out ideas and just putting myself out there during performances, really boosting my confidence as well. And through that, I've managed to like find like jobs as well, like in retail as well, where I have to like communicate with like other people, like strangers in the store, and that's helped me with just like.
So would you say that so through performing creative arts, so you were in a production, you were in the KAA show, I remember.
Yeah.
Remember that was a long time ago now.
Yeah, like
but
6
you
years
were,
now.
how old were you in year 7 then?
Yeah, year 7.
So in year 7 you're in the KAA show, which sort of was the Gareth Malone BBC documentary, and then from there you've gone on to be in other productions. And would you say that being in those productions has made you a more confident person in other areas of school, other areas of life?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you can literally ask anyone, any of my friends, anyone in the school. I'm really extroverted. I'm really like putting myself out there, and that's a good thing. It makes you.
It's annoying sometimes.
You know, you can't have, you know, you can't handle me. It's fine. Just say that. But it's a good outlook on you, rather than you being closed in yourself and not really engaging in anything. And it just increases your experience with a lot of like characters around the school as well. So
Adam, you know, you started off Innocent Smoothie with your other co-founders, which sort of shook the industry. You know, really changed the industry. In now you go, there's so many replicant of your product. And then, was there any? I know it sounds like a lovely story, but along the way, has there been any sort of challenges or things that have got in the way, that sort of blockages where you've had to get through them?
Yeah, look, I mean, entrepreneurship is about a number of things. Creativity is one of them, but definitely resilience is another one, because, you know, a lot of the time people are saying no to you, and a lot of the time you're kind of at the bottom of the queue. I mean, we launched, everything was going brilliantly, and then a year in, our bottle supplier said, you can't have any more bottles because Marks and Spencer's want to fill our machine. We're selling all our bottles to Marks and Spencer's, and we literally had like, because basically M&S copied our type of bottle, and they said, oh, we'll have that, and of course they were 20 times our size, and they were like, oh, right. And so we had like days to try and find bottles, and we couldn't find enough to be able to satisfy demand. So for the next 6 weeks, every phone call was basically an angry customer phoning up saying, you're not selling enough to me, I need to stop, where's my stock, it's selling. And it was just a nightmare, it was horrible. And you were just saying no, and you were disappointing people, and that, you know, that taught us a good lesson. It's like, always have a plan B, don't be reliant on one supplier, make sure you've got two, so if one lets you down, you can go there.
Right.
Simple lesson, but, you know, it's a good way of learning it.
Yeah.
You know, luckily it didn't sink the business, but it could have done.
So, $1 million question: what is the secret? I mean, if you knew this, it could be, you know. But, you know, for those that don't know, an entrepreneur is someone essentially who sets up their own business.
Yeah.
You know, and so if we had some young budding entrepreneurs here, you know, they want to make their own product or business. Are there any sort of tips or the success stories? Is there anything that connects them or combines them, or is it? It can't just be pure luck.
It's definitely not pure luck. Luck is important, but it's not pure luck. What we have learned in 10 years is that successful entrepreneurs come in absolutely all shapes and sizes, personalities, backgrounds. It does not matter. You can be successful in business, in life, no matter where you come from. And that's what's interesting, because at first we thought there's going to be a template. If we can tick these three things, that's it. And what we've learned is it just doesn't work like that. Right. It's a lot of it is about the team. So, you know, there's very few people who on their own are kind of capable of everything. You know, people have spikes and they're brilliant at something, but they're rubbish at other things, and then they need someone else to come in and cover those other bits. So a lot of what we do is just think about whether the team that's launching the business has covered most of the gaps, and also know when there is a gap, they recognise that, and they're going to do something about it.
So tell me a bit about your involvement in KAA. It's sort of a curveball.
Yeah.
You know, how did that come about, and what work have you done with KAA, and sort of, you know, I'm really interested in that connection.
Yeah, so I mean, it's funny because so my office is just around the corner, the Innocent office is just around the corner, but my JamJar office is just on Bramley Road, and I used to literally drive past on Silchester Road every morning, and I saw this building getting built. And then someone came to see me, so Rod Aldridge's son actually came and said, oh, we're building this school, so Rod's got his name above the door, we're looking for a local entrepreneur to be involved. My family's been involved in education, both my sisters are teachers, my mum was a teacher, so I sort of, education's in the kind of blood. And I've been driving past this building every day, and I was like, well, that sort of makes sense. Anyway, so I came along, met the team, met David, who was the head at that point, and I thought, I'd love to get involved, and sort of went from there, and that was a decade ago.
So Adam, you've been part of the KAA DNA for 10 years now, and you've obviously had lots of walks around the school, you've met lots of the students, you've met some of the staff. What would you say sort of typifies a KAA student for you? When you see a KAA student, you think that's KAA.
I think a KAA student is someone that really doesn't mind putting themselves in situations where they're a bit awkward, they're a bit uncomfortable. They try things that are a bit out of their comfort zone, and they give it a go. And I think that's the nub of it. You're just giving stuff a go, and it doesn't matter whether it works or not, because you've tried. And I think that is something that is hugely important in life. Just being able to have the confidence to risk yourself and potentially fail, but it doesn't really matter because you can just move on. So I think taking those chances is something that I think is vital.
And we're coming to the end now, and I just want to say, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for being a governor for 10 years. It wasn't just a vanity project. You became a governor to say you were a governor. You've actually been here for 10 years, and your experience and contribution to the school has been invaluable. So on behalf of KAA and myself who's worked here, thank you for everything you've done for the school. And thank you, Gabriel, for joining us today. But before we do go, we like to ask our guests if they could give one sort of tip to a KAA student, just one sort of little gem of knowledge or tip they could pass on, what would it be to sort of a year 7 or even maybe a year 11, doesn't really matter, sort of that you could pass on to our audience of students? Have a think.
I think it's easy. It's throw yourself into school life, because it is an amazing time. You won't, when you 20 years on, you'll look back and you go, oh my God, I had a chance to play football, do drama, play table tennis, learn history, hang out with loads of mates, go on school trip. That stuff doesn't happen later in life, and it's amazing when it is happening. You might not realise it, but take up all those opportunities, try them. If it doesn't work, move on, do something else. But throw yourself into school life. It's the best time.
Don't just come to school, do lessons and leave.
Exactly.
Throw yourself in.
Exactly.
Make the most out of all opportunities. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that little light inside of you, make it into a flame, right?
Nice, that could be our tagline.
Oh, yeah,
that little light inside you, make it a flame. Well, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe, like our channel, and hopefully we'll see you again next week. Thanks for watching.